All right, how is everyone doing? I'm Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out my channel. I'm actually in, where am I at? I'm in Annapolis, Maryland, at the LA Fitness. So I'm going to go through something today that I get asked about a lot, and that is abs. And what's kind of funny about me regarding abs is I was kind of anti-abs for a majority of my life, up until probably my early 40s. Never gave a shit about them. One of the reasons was, one, genetically, I had the genetics that when I was younger, for the most part, up until my mid-20s, until I got too big and too heavy, I always had abs. I was very thin, and I was always shredded. And I never stopped playing sports, so I just had abs. It wasn't like I always was doing stomach. I would do stomach sometimes working out, but it wasn't, it was more for just playing sports and things like that when you're warming up when you were younger, or you had the Presidential Fitness Award or something like that. But one of the reasons I really never trained to be in a bodybuilding show, nor did I ever really care about my abs, was because when I was younger, I pulled steaming hot water onto my stomach. My mother actually had these curlers in the old days, in the late 60s, early 70s. They had these curlers that would sit on top of hot water, and the water would steam the curlers, then the women would take them out. They were hot and rolled their hair. I went and pulled the cord as a baby. My mother still cries about it all the time, and the hot water obviously splashed. So I had a huge scar on my stomach. It's massive. I never had a complex towards it, to be honest with you. I never had problems taking my shirt off or anything. I think maybe some people would. I just never gave a shit. But the more ripped I was, actually abs-wise, the more distorted it even looked. So as I got older, in my mid-20s and stuff, I started to get a lot bigger. I was like 210, 220, and 230. I started to lose my abs. One is I stopped kind of doing abs, but it kind of got smoother. I thought it almost looked better. But like I said, that was one of the reasons, even though I love bodybuilding and lifting heavy weights, one is I never wanted to diet anymore after wrestling. And two was my abs. I could never do a show because it looks all distorted. So I knew that wasn't in the cards for me. If anything, I wouldn't have minded powerlifting. But anyways, so let's go back to abs. So I kind of quit abs, I would say, in my early 20s. And the reason I quit abs is I just had no interest in it. I really was more interested in my legs, my arms, my chest, every other body part. But as time went on, I started gaining more and more weight. When I was 240, 250. Here was the thing. I was very solid in my stomach. I just didn't have abs anymore, nor was I interested in it, I guess you could say. A lot of my friends were really in the 90s, in 2000s, were really still caught up with abs. They loved having abs. They liked having a 4-pack or a 6-pack. We lived in Florida. We'd always be going to the beach. They wanted to have a trimmer fit. They wanted the V. I just wanted to be massive. I didn't care. I didn't even care that I had a belly at times. My waist got up to like a 38, 40-inch waist at one time. And I would go meet my cousin, whose wife actually at the time still does, owns a Pilates chain. I think she owns a company, and then I think they franchised. And he used to look at me and go, "Man, you got it all except abs. Why don't you do abs? Why don't you just, work on your stomach, your midsection, your core?" And I used to be like, "Because it's boring. I'm sick of it. I'm not interested in it." And he's like, "You're going to have a problem with that as you get older. You know that." And I was like, "Well, I'll figure it out then." But the truth was, I did start to have a problem with it because I started to lose weight, because as quickly as I wanted to gain weight, which I took my time actually doing, and then losing weight, the one thing I realized when I was downsizing, my stomach did not downsize. And I think one of the reasons was it was from so many years of being kind of heavier. And I mainly eat a lot of Italian foods, which include pastas and things in that nature. So everything else really started to get even more fit the more weight I lost, except my stomach. It looked like a little bubble. And I think a lot of people could relate to this. And I think statistically, the average man, from I don't know what age, if it's from 30 to 70 or 40 to 70 or somewhere around there, they gain on an average about a pound a year. Or they would gain a certain amount of time, but guys that end up at about, I think, between 70 and 75 years old are like 30 to 40 pounds heavier than they were in their 30s. And if you look around, most men, as you could tell, they have larger bellies. And you have to get rid of that. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you've got to start working on your core. And the quicker you do that, the easier it's going to be in the long run, because this goes for any body part. And I always say that if you're heavy or thin, I tell guys, especially like my age, middle-aged, I'm beyond middle-aged, I'm going on 50, is the quicker you could form your body into where it needs to be, the better off you're going to be. Because what's happening too is your skin is stretched and your body becomes lazy, obviously, and it becomes very comfortable and it wants to keep resorting back to where it was. So as you know, a lot of people lose weight and then they gain it back very quickly because their body and their mind is very comfortable being, I think, at that weight. Also, if your skin is stretched out for long periods of time, and I'm talking years and years and decades, when you sometimes go to lose that weight now, obviously your skin, it just starts to obviously sag. And that's what you don't want. So the quicker you get to the weight you want to be. Now, that doesn't mean that I want you to lose weight quickly. That's the opposite. I like to lose weight very slowly, a pound a week, pound a month max. I want your skin, your mind, your body, everything to adapt to where you want it to be slowly, not where you lose 30, 50 pounds in 2 months, 3 months. Now, I get if you're extremely obese and you need to get that weight off your body, that's entirely different. I'm talking about people that only want to, start getting a better core, midsection, tightening up, lose maybe 10 to 20 pounds roughly, or even 5 pounds, whatever the case may be. But this is what I started to do because I used to save abs for last, and I realized I was always bullshitting myself. I would be very intense in my workout. Then 2 things would happen. At the end of the workout, I'd be wanting to get the hell out of there. So I would either fly through abs, do them very quickly or kind of cut back. I'd say, okay, I'm going to do 6 or 8 sets. I would do 3, or I would just skip out on them. The truth is, I was just like, well, I'll do them next time. I can always do them this time. I'll do them at home in the morning. I'll do them here. I just never did them. So what I started to do was force myself to do abs at the beginning of my workout when I had the most energy. Because as I got older, I was pretty decent with my arms and legs, but I wasn't really getting the results I wanted in my stomach again. And I really wanted to remove a lot of that fat. It's around all of our organs. And the core, as you get older, I promise you, is going to be one of the most important things you have to get right. Okay, and by doing them first when I had the most energy, the results I got were really unbelievable. I don't know if you watch any of my videos. I usually go in, I warm up on a bike for 5 minutes, get the blood flow. Sometimes I jump on a treadmill, depending on how much I was walking or what I was doing that day. And then I do some hip exercises, some stretching, and then I warm up my entire body, upper body. Unless I'm doing legs, then I warm up my legs, and then I go into my leg workout. But if I'm doing upper body, I warm up my shoulders first, thighs, tries, chest, and I begin my workout. I still do that no matter what. The only days I don't do abs now are the days I do legs. But for the most part, I always try to incorporate at least 6 abs into the beginning of my workout. And a lot of people would be like, well, that makes you more fatigued. It takes up a lot of your energy. You don't have as much energy to do, say, chest, shoulders, back, thighs, whatever. And my theory was, I don't care anymore. I want to really concentrate on my core. I want this to be tight. Now, that doesn't mean I have a 6-pack. I still eat a lot of Italian food and all that. I call it a 1.5 pack. Sometimes I'll have a 2-pack. But the 6-pack days for me most likely are going to be gone because I don't diet correctly, even though I probably still at my age could probably come very close where most guys probably couldn't. But I'm not that interested. I just want it to be firm. I always have my family members or cousins coming up and punching me or hitting me in the chest saying, oh my God, that feels tight and everything. And again, it's not for show. The days of me, like I said, I never really got into the show again because I'm so scarred down there. And I get a lot of guys middle-aged, they want to just look better. And I'm telling you, incorporate abs. Try to do 2 to 3 times a week. I wouldn't do them every day. I don't think that's right. You could do them every other day or say a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And again, even if you don't want to do them at the gym, which a lot of people don't like to always do them like my father. He wakes up or he goes to bed doing abs all the time. The more you strengthen your core in that midsection, the better it is going to be. I promise you, man. You will feel better. When I started to lose weight and really get that solid, I almost felt hollow inside because I was kind of used to always just having all that weight shuffle around. So yeah, I go in, I do usually a 2-2-2-2 type of thing with abs, or sometimes I'll do a 3-3-2, but incorporate the abs, all different types of equipments, and check out obviously all different types of ab exercises on YouTube. You could go to Instagram, I don't know, you got Facebook, tons of things coming out, and you have to find what works for you. I do a lot of one-legged lifts. I concentrate on that as well. I do a lot of kicking and things in that nature because I don't like to just do equipment with abs. I think most of it's bullshit. But the more you're doing for me, the more leg lifts that I'm doing, the better off I feel. And you need, more than anything, to find what works best for you. I talk about that all the time. I don't care what what you do in your life, it has to work for you, right? Hold on, I'm thirsty. Yeah, like you can do all these different types of ab exercises. You never lose weight, you never get stronger, you're never getting the results. You should be sore actually when you're doing abs no matter what. Even if you're really kicking it in the ass, your abs should be sore the next day, or you should at least feel that you're, the intensity that you went through the day before. And if you're not, you're either doing them wrong or you're not doing what works for you. Or you're not putting the intensity, right? Intensity is everything with abs. You have to keep pushing yourself. The more you push yourself with abs, the better results you're going to get. That I could assure you. If you're kind of lackadaisy all the time, just kind of like bullshitting around with abs, any abs is better than no abs, but you look at the results you're getting, and it takes a lot of times, months, even years, to get your stomach or your core to where you want it to be. I think a lot of people think they're going to sign up for a gym, 2 months, I'm going to start seeing abs, 3 months. First of all, most people's diet, especially if you're middle-aged, that's not going to happen. Because just because you're doing abs does not mean you're going to get a six-pack. When you're younger, you can, especially if you have the genetics. But as you're getting older, no. A big part of your stomach, or getting rid of fat around your stomach, or getting that core tightened, is the diet, or the intensity you bring, or obviously I guess you could say, the workouts you're doing as well besides just abs. So if you're doing a lot of things that are going to be incorporating your core, that's going to be amazing. If you're kind of more like a bodybuilder where the only core exercise you're doing is when you're doing abs, or maybe squatting or deadlifting, you may not get the results you always think. But if you're doing a lot of different hiking, or you're doing rock climbing, or you're doing, I don't even care if it's surfing, that's a lot of core. Those are the type of thing, you're going to get different results with each type of different workout. All right, so that's something to think about as well. In your job too, if you're a construction worker, if you're doing drywall, or if you're a guy who's lifting, I don't care if you work at UPS, I don't care, if you do a physical labor type job where you're doing a lot of bending and coming up, you're using your core obviously a lot. Then you have other guys who sit at a desk for hours and hours on end. Nothing is really being worked at all. So again, depending on what your work or your job is, that's going to determine also what your core, what's getting worked and what isn't. Those are the things you got to think about when you're creating your workout for you. What is really going to give me the best results? How can I incorporate things that are definitely going to work, not waste my time? And again, think about the workplace, like how much exercise you're getting at work, how much exercise am I getting in the gym, what do I do on my free time, am I water skiing, am I snow skiing, am I doing different leisurely type things that are athletic, that are also helping me within my core. Because you want to keep that core tight as you get older. The tighter you get it, the better you're going to feel, the better you're going to look too, and the better clothes are going to look on you too. So if you look at most men, especially when they sit down, you can just see that huge belly come out, or they take their shirt off, or they're out of breath very quickly. Get that weight off of you. I was very insecure for many, many years. I called it reverse anorexiaism, where no matter how big I got, I felt small. But when I started to lose weight and get fitter and get that whole thing out of my mind and get my core tighter or stronger, I felt like a different human being. And you don't realize that because you're carrying all this weight around, and it has a sense of power, and it's not about losing. Most likely you are going to lose some strength sometimes, because when I'd get heavy even in my belly, for some reason I was so much stronger. And then when I would lose my weight, I obviously felt weaker a lot of times. I don't know if it was mentally, but physically I wasn't as strong. But you have to get rid of those insecurities and just start really focusing on how you feel at the moment and what's the future for you. Do you really want to live to 70, 80, 90 years old? Do you really want to start having heart problems? Start thinking about, your genetics. What are your other relatives? What did they go through? Look at them. Are they obese? Are they heavy? What type of foods are they eating? Did they not work out? If you have relatives that are similar in age, that are really fit, ask them what's working out. All these things you need to incorporate, because the more you know about your body and what others kind of similar to you, I think, which a lot of people neglect. So if you have first cousins or brothers, very similar genetics sometimes, not always, but you can learn from one another, and you kind of just have an idea of what they kind of look like and what you look like, good and bad. So start doing abs at the beginning of your workout. Didn't mean to get long-winded on this one, but I definitely want you to kick it in the ass and concentrate. Don't let anybody kid you and tell you that you can't do abs at the beginning of your workout because it makes you too fatigued or it weakens your workout throughout after that. forget that shit. Kick it in the ass. It does take a while to get used to. I'm not going to lie. It's going to probably take 3 to 6 months before you just go in there and it just becomes something very natural. And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I even skip out on that if I'm in a rush or I'm just tired of doing abs. So maybe at the end I'll do 2 or 3, or on my cardio day I'll just do some abs. Whatever the case may be, keep trying to incorporate ab workout or core workout into your workouts and start doing fun things like I just said, or incorporating things. I don't care if you go play tennis, volleyball, start doing things on your free time that you don't have to be so programmed into just saying, okay, I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the gym and that's the only physical activity I do. Maybe start doing other things. Take up a hobby that's also physical and fun. You could do it with your family, with your wife, your girlfriend, your kids, or whoever you're with, and just start incorporating fitness more and more into your life. And you're going to live a better, healthier lifestyle. So, all right. If you get a chance, subscribe to my channel. I also have a podcast called The Rich CELENZA Show. WTF Are You Talking About? Got a Facebook page. We have, what else do I got out there? I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter as well. And I have a program called Mastering Self-Confidence. It's the blueprint to helping men find the woman or women of their dreams, even if they've been through a bad breakup or divorce. I get into a lot of things regarding fashion, fitness, and hygiene. And I really want to help guys become the best that they can become. I'm not there to change them. I just want to help them improve on things they want to improve on. So, all right, if you're traveling, safe travels. Take care.